If you want to buy Sony's high-end PS5 Pro, you'll spend about $830. But if you want to buy SanDisk's officially licensed 8 TB hard drive to put inside it, that will cost you nearly $3,000. A single storage drive now costs more than 3 times the complex computing console it supports. This is a complete inversion of how consumer electronics should work, and it's happening everywhere. Apple CEO Tim Cook recently delivered a sobering update to the Wall Street Journal. Price increases across the upcoming iPhone 17 lineup are now unavoidable. For decades, we've relied on the rule that technology gets cheaper and faster over time. But that era is stalling out, replaced by hardware costs that seem completely detached from standard economic cycles. These spikes represent a structural realignment of the entire global semiconductor market. The consumer sector is being cannibalized by a massive, high-stakes arms race for raw computing power. Right now, the largest companies on Earth are aggressively draining the world's physical and human resources to build next-generation infrastructure, and the everyday consumer is footing the bill. In the race to build advanced artificial intelligence, the rarest and most hoarded resource is human genius. Meet AI pioneer Noam Shazir. In 2024, Google paid a staggering $2.7 billion to acquire a startup called Character.ai. But the primary goal wasn't the software. It was a desperate move to bring Shazir back into the fold to co-lead their flagship Gemini project. Even billions in retention capital couldn't hold him. After just 2 years, Shazir abandoned Google to join OpenAI. It proves that in the current market, top-tier talent dictates terms that even the largest corporations cannot match. OpenAI values him this highly because Shazir co-authored the seminal paper on transformer architecture. He is one of the few people on Earth who understands the foundation of modern language models well enough to build whatever replaces them. Concentrating this talent yields immediate software leaps. OpenAI recently launched scheduled tasks, shifting ChatGPT from a tool you prompt into a proactive, autonomous agent that handles recurring work and monitors data without human intervention. This shift toward background autonomy requires a massive increase in compute overhead. To monitor tasks and execute logic in the background, these AI models must run continuous agentic loops, creating a constant, heavy demand on the hardware hosting them. This evolution in software hits a hard physical limit. Autonomous AI agents require unprecedented amounts of hardware to remain active and reliable. The scale of the resulting infrastructure build-out is massive. Microsoft alone plans to spend over $80 billion on data centers in 2026 to keep up with the demand. When we look at the internals of these AI server clusters, we see the primary supply chain choke point. They require massive arrays of high-bandwidth memory and high-speed SSDs to function, far more than a standard computing server. Just 3 manufacturers control 95% of the global memory market. Because semiconductor fabrication plants take years to build and cost billions, they cannot expand production fast enough to meet the current surge. Because demand drastically outstrips supply, the AI giants have effectively swallowed the global memory market. This has caused the cost of memory chips to quadruple compared to last year. This macroeconomic spike hits every device on the shelf. Every PC, tablet, and smartphone maker must use these exact same components to build their products. Apple and Sony are now locked in a raw materials bidding war against AI data centers. It is a fight for finite resources that the consumer electronics industry is currently losing, resulting in permanent price increases for the end user. This scramble for talent and silicon has an ultimate destination beyond AI. It is driving us toward the arrival of quantum computing. France has already issued a historic national mandate. By 2027, the government will stop certifying security products that lack quantum-resistant encryption. By 2030, quantum-safe tech will be mandatory for all critical infrastructure. The urgency is real. The same acceleration driving AI breakthroughs is pushing the arrival of cryptographically relevant quantum computers to as early as 2030. Once active, these machines will possess the power to shatter classical encryption standards like RSA in minutes, rendering current digital security obsolete. The immediate financial stakes are massive. Approximately 7 million legacy Bitcoin, worth roughly $450 billion, are currently sitting in vulnerable wallets that rely on this outdated cryptography. Because millions of these keys are permanently lost or held by inactive owners, they can never be migrated to quantum-safe addresses. They will remain as permanent, multi-billion-dollar honeypots for the first quantum attackers. The competition for talent, the scramble for silicon, and the looming quantum threat are now the primary forces dictating the price and security of every digital device we own. Staying ahead requires a shift in strategy. Buy hardware before the 2026 price hikes, embrace proactive AI tools to offset costs, and migrate your digital assets before the 2030 quantum cliff.